Welcome to the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. My name is Chris Schad. I write for Fansided and Zone Coverage. He is Adam Patrick, my co-host, managing editor of the Viking Age and NFL editor for Fansided. We do this right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. Quick production note for everybody out there. We appreciate all of you. 1,180 subscribers. Makes me want to do this podcast all the time. Unfortunately, with our new jobs, we're kind of just getting settled in. We might go down to one episode a week for a while, but it's just managing our new routines, managing our new responsibilities, all that stuff. We don't plan on going anywhere unless like Fansided kicks down my door and tells me to get off the YouTube channel. But we'll try and keep you posted on, what day we'd like to keep it. I would like to keep it a certain day moving forward. That way you have something to expect. So right now we've been doing it on Friday, so maybe I'll record it earlier in the week. We'll air it on Friday, or we'll just go live here on Friday night because Adam has kids and I don't have a life out here in South Dakota.
And another
right
cat.
now. And another. Did you get another one?
Just got another cat.
What did your kids name this one?
Sparks.
So you have Mittens and Sparks?
Sparks and Bitsy.
Sparks and Bitsy. Mittens. I don't know.
They're
Bitsy's close to Mittens. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. They there's a show on the Disney Channel called Super Kitties, and two of the cats are Sparks and Bitsy. So that's where they got the names from.
Oh, well, at least there's some motivation.
I wanted to name him Kevin, but they said no.
Like Kevin Owens.
just Kevin, like Kevin from Home Alone. Just
gotcha.
wanted to yell Kevin, when he's getting in trouble.
I thought he was going to like just snap and start tweaking on everybody. Yeah, and just pile driving with no regard for human life. So that's the production meeting early on the show, but we got a lot to talk to, so we're gonna jump right into it. And the first is Kevin O'Connell won Coach of the Year yesterday, and then he got misquoted. But we'll get into that in just a bit here. Kevin O'Connell led the Vikings to a 14-3 record. We won't mention the last two games, but you know what? The Vikings were expected to win 6 games at the beginning of the year. He did it with Sam Darnold as quarterback. Many thought Kwesi dropped acid when he was signed. He currently has a higher winning percentage than Bud Grant after 3 seasons. Granted, small sample size. And I don't know, Ad. Do you think he's available for trade? Maybe some teams will call.
Well, I've heard there's some turmoil or whatever. That's
tension.
Tension in the building because Kwesi and Kevin don't go to basketball games together in the off season and don't hang out at all. They just despise each other like Spielman and Zimmer at the end of their tenures. I don't think he's going to be available for trade. Sorry, Florio, or Glazer, I guess. But Glazer, he was just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. When it comes to his reporting, he's doing his job. Just stirring the pot, doing his job. But no, yeah. I know Lions fans were just in disbelief last night that Dan Campbell didn't win Coach of the Year after leading the team that went to the NFC Championship the previous year to win 15 games with the same coordinators and lead a team that was picked by Sports Illustrated and some other places to actually win the Super Bowl, and he led them to 15 wins. And granted, they did suffer some setbacks on the defensive side of the ball, but they did not lose their starting quarterback or their starting receiver or really anyone on their offensive line. They still had all that stuff, but O'Connell did more, I feel like, with a little, and that's what this award is really awarded for. I think if whether or not you agree with the formula that determines it usually goes to the person who kind of helps their team lead them to a notable amount of success by overcoming like significant odds or obstacles. And that's what O'Connell did with, his team. Essentially, people thinking they're going to be fighting for the number 1 pick this year, And instead, he's got them battling for the number 1 seed in the final week of the season. Because you look at, Kevin Stefanski, I think, won the year before, and he won the award pretty much because he got the Browns to the playoffs with like 5 different starting quarterbacks. So usually it doesn't go to the top coach, the like actual best coach of the year. Not saying that Kevin O'Connell is not the good coach, because he is a really good coach, but like if it really went to the actual coach of the year, it'd be like Andy Reid every year, Bill Belichick every year. Like those guys would have so many coach of the year awards, but that's not really how it goes in any sport, really. I feel like that's how it is in pretty much every sport. So, Lions fans might be disappointed, but it doesn't mean that, they shouldn't still be excited about their head coach. But right now, they don't have the coach of the year. The Vikings do.
Postseason awards. I'm gonna tilt my chair back because I'm like sitting like this. I like my chair, but sometimes I said it a little bit incorrectly. Everybody's like, just get to the point. I think here's my stance on the award. Kevin O'Connell deserves it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of these coach of the year debates and like MVP and Minnesota Wild a couple years ago. Kirill Kaprizov burst onto the scene.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Russia, and I think he was 23, 24 when he debuted. But Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars was a little bit younger, and he had a really good season down there too. And it was just like this endless debate throughout the season. And I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, well, that's cool. I would like the Wild to win a playoff series for the first time in like 6 years. That would be great. I feel the same way about the Vikings, where, yeah, it's cool Kevin O'Connell has it, but I mean, I'm not going to get into which coach deserved it more. Was it Kevin O'Connell or Dan Campbell? And Dan Campbell might have been hurt because the reputation of his coordinators both got them head coaching jobs. So maybe people looked at that and said, he was kind of propped up a bit.
And his coordinator won the award for best assistant last night.
Yeah. So
make it even better.
So, yeah, I mean, you also had Brian Flores, who I believe was up for that award as well. But he didn't get a head coaching job for obvious reasons. And then Wes Swerve Phillips on the offensive coordinator. Yeah, I don't. He's got a lot of. What exactly do you?
I was going to say
vibes?
He's definitely the Office Space. So what do you do here?
Like Josh McCown has more of a presence. I don't mean
he got a head coaching interview, I think, with the Jets. I think, right?
Yeah, or coordinator or something. I don't know, but yeah, that was. I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know. Kevin O'Connell, coach of the year. Love to see it. Let's talk about what happened after he won the award, because Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press went out and basically tweeted that Kevin O'Connell said, "Our goal is to win a championship, and Sam Darnold is going to be a huge part of it when we do it." And everybody was like, "Whoa!" So that kind of caused a firestorm on Twitter. But then, X. But then it's Twitter to me, damn it. But whatever. He has a little local conference call with Kevin Seifert, Lindsey Young, all the local reporters, and they're like, we didn't hear that. What did you say? And he's like, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the entire statement because it's bad. It just sounds bad on the podcast. But Alec Lewis, The Athletic, posted it, and he said, "I don't necessarily think that was 100% accurate. It was in the spirit of answering a question about Sam's season and what he was able to do this year." Then he goes on to say, "Look, you guys know how I feel about Sam. We will continue to have ongoing dialogue and discussions with him." I'm paraphrasing here, as well as be really excited about JJ McCarthy. I don't know where to start. Do you want to start about the quarterback here? Or like what the hell happened? Because I have an explanation for it, but
I think Mr. Burkett was he shared something that wasn't true, whether it was done purposefully or he misheard or something. There's video on YouTube, on the Vikings YouTube channel, of this press conference after he won the award, and the question was actually about Justin Jefferson, and he said how they're going to win a championship with Justin Jefferson. And for some reason, maybe Burkett, because I think like maybe O'Connell mentioned Darnold in there and how he had a great season. He was able to do everything, and now he's I've seen a lot of clips of interviews from him today, and how he's mentioned pretty much every single time how Sam Darnold has earned the right to be a free agent this year and get the top contract.
Familiar.
Pretty much don't think he would be saying that if he would be coming back, or else he would be doing the whole what he did last year with Kirk Cousins, which was like, we want him back. We hope he can come back. Hopefully things can work out. I think he's mentioned that in just kind of this year, but it's mostly been Darnold been like, he's earned the right to be a free agent this year, and he's going to get a lot of money. So have a great career, Sam. We're good over here. But yeah, I just think I don't know what happened with that tweet or post or whatever it's called now. I mean, we're in the age where you can pretty much post anything on that website, and everything will be taken for 100% truth. Even if it is true with the Luka trade and the LeBron trade, when everyone was like, no way, there's no way this is true. And guess what? It was true. So it's really hard to believe people on that website these days. And yeah, it's just good that the Vikings have these beat reporters that are good at their job and go and check and find out everything that's the actual truth, and not just what a Lions reporter might have been doing, maybe to troll Vikings fans.
All right. I'm gonna pump the brakes there, because I used to do the beat reporting thing, and it can be pretty easy to. And I mean, the guy is like one of the most respected beat writers in the NFL. Like, so
what I mean, I've been covering for the Lions for a long time, so you gotta be committed to your job to do that.
I'm treading carefully, because I know how hard it is to do that job, where, maybe you go into a room late and you hear the question, because he did say, I mean, he doubled down on his quote, and he's like, well, I wasn't recording it. And it's kind of like, well, why did you tweet that? Right. Like that was if I'm not 100% sure, I'm not going to put it in a story, and I'm not going to tweet it. Not telling anybody to do their job or any of that stuff. That's just kind of it, because we are human. We make mistakes. Yeah. I remember my first year on the job at the Brookings Register. I think it was a couple weeks into the job, and I was in a press conference in Fargo, and John Stiglmeyer, the SDSU head coach, was talking about the kicker, Hunter Dustman, and he hit a game-winning field goal. And on my recording, I thought I heard him say he had a broken thumb. And he did not have a broken thumb. So like my coworker looked at me. He's like, are you crazy? He didn't say that. And I'm like, well, here's the recording. And he heard it. He's like, it sounds like it, but he didn't. And then the other two were like, nah. So you know what? I mean, stuff happened. This is how good the Lions rivalry has gotten with the Vikings, because like Vikings fans genuinely think that Dave Burkett heard Kevin O'Connell say something. He goes, I'm going to fuck with him. I'm going to tweet out that he said Sam Darnold is coming back and he's going to win a championship, and they're going to pay him $50 million. And look at him dance, puppets dance. And like the Vikings fans are like, you bozo, you clown. Dude, shit happens. Like I would love for all of these journalists to just be like mindless robots who get everything, and that's what we strive for. But I mean, stuff happens. So I don't think he went on the internet saying, I'm gonna fuck with Vikings fans and post this. So
I will say this: he did tweet or post or whatever before he even made this Darnold tweet that Dan Campbell finished second in Coach of the Year to the man he beat twice this year. So he's stoking the fire a little bit. He's not just not just doing strict reporting or whatever, but
he's rallying the troops.
He knows what he's doing, but he knows he's going to get attention by doing that too. But like, yeah, I don't think his intention with that Darnold thing was to like just rile up the Vikings fans. It's probably just he thought he heard it, and then it was probably surprising to him too that O'Connell might have said that.
I don't know who needs to hear this either. 95% of your beat reporters don't give a shit about the team they cover.
That's true too.
Like, you know what? I mean, if the team does well, our job is more fun. But I mean, we're not sitting there being like, oh my God, we better go Lions, go. He's not saying, wave the flag or whatever you want to say. Like, no, we don't do that. We don't care. Like it's fine. Like we have personal relationships. We want the people we talk to do well. But I mean, it's not like we're sitting here cheering and like the Vikings are even like if he does that, he's not going to get let into US Bank Stadium when the Lions play there. Like it's very political. So I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is kind of humorous to me who has been in that position, although on a much lower scale. But I don't know. The Viking fan reaction is kind of like, all right, guys, like, chill out here. Like,
no, it's
mistakes
February.
happen.
It's February. What else we got to talk about?
Yeah, it's not like the Vikings can actually play in the Super Bowl.
No.
Let me just ask one more question on this whole thing. JJ McCarthy also doing his part on the situation to kind of veil of secrecy or whatever. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and had we had this show yesterday, we would have broken down that whole clip like the Zapruder film. He said he wants an opportunity to start, but he knows that money gets in the way sometimes. And if you want the whole quote, every other Vikings podcast has already talked about it, so you can check about it there. What did you think about his comments? And I don't know.
I think he went about it the way that we've grown to learn from him, where he's pretty open about everything, and he's understanding at the same time, and he knows he's pretty in tune with, like, he mentions like being able to control what he can control all the time and not try and worry about other things that are out of his control, which is at this point whether or not the Vikings, it's, I guess, them re-signing Darnold is a little bit in McCarthy's control, because if the Vikings feel confident in McCarthy as their starter moving forward, then they're not going to probably re-sign Darnold. But I think he also knows, and maybe he could be in on the whole Viking stick of them making sure that they're saying good things about Darnold right now to maybe potentially boost up his trade value, to do a tag and trade. Him and O'Connell meet like every day or once a week or whatever for lunch. So like he knows what's going on.
A little more than Shane Waldron met with Caleb Williams last year.
Yeah. Oh my, that's like Zimmer stuff.
If you didn't see it, there was a report that came out either today or yesterday where Shane Waldron, who was the offensive coordinator of the Bears, offensive coordinator, not defensive coordinator like head coach like Mike Zimmer, offensive coordinator, did not meet with Caleb Williams to go over film. Caleb Williams had to build his own like shack and like watch it on the screen like a DIY guy.
Yeah, no idea why Bears quarterbacks fail every year in that franchise. I think he went about it the right way and said the right things. And right now it's February. We really don't know if Darnold's coming back or not. There's still a small chance. I mean, he hasn't signed another team, so there's always going to be a chance of him returning. But I think if you were to be a betting person right now, the odds would be in McCarthy's favor. But he also knows, like he's mentioned, it's everything's out of his control. So he's just going to wait and see what happens. Whatever happens, he's going to compete. And I think Thor Nystrom said it the other day, like, if Darnold and McCarthy go to compete in training camp, McCarthy's going to beat him. So it doesn't really matter if they re-sign him or not. So, no, I came away impressed with McCarthy. I've always been impressed with his press conferences and interviews. He's like 22 and he talks like he's like a 40-year-old like stockbroker.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I mean, I listened to the whole thing, talked about a sleep number bed.
Yeah.
Very
him and Eisen are buddies too, because Michigan.
They had to cheer for Notre Dame and they hated it because Notre Dame got their shit kicked in. No, man. I mean, at this point, I'm just indifferent about it. It's just kind of like I'm not I know we're in the internet business where we want to get reads off what people say and whatever, but I'm indifferent. If Sam Darnold comes back and they compete and it's hey, McCarthy's not quite ready. Okay, cool. We got Sam Darnold and he played really well last year. That's great. If they let Sam Darnold walk, okay, if they let Sam Darnold walk and we hear, well, they didn't really make a big time offer to him, it's like, wow, JJ McCarthy's about to ball out because they know more than we do.
Or Daniel Jones.
Yeah, or Daniel Jones is about to ball out. I don't know.
And we can't laugh because we said a lot about the same things that we're laughing about Jones right now about Darnold. So like, if that happened, like I would still be like, oh, Kevin O'Connell's the coach, so I feel pretty confident in Daniel Jones winning 15 games next year. So.
Daniel Jones, the quarterback we all deserve, right?
Yeah, because I think I just saw a report or some quote or whatever. I think it might have been from an interview today where he was talking about Daniel Jones, and O'Connell was saying there were like multiple times where Jefferson and Addison came back to the huddle in practice and were like, wow, that was a big time throw. It's like, all right, okay.
I love off-season hype.
Oh my god. KFC is the king of that.
Let's talk about something else here. Let's go to Canton. Let's go to the Hall of Fame because Jaron Allen is going to be a member of the Hall of Fame. He was elected 4-person class this year. So it was Jared Allen.
Yeah, pretty small, right?
Sterling Sharp, Antonio Gates, and who was the fourth guy?
Eric Allen.
Oh.
Cornerback.
Eric who?
Allen. Eric Allen.
Eric Allen. Okay.
He was a corner for like the Eagles and Raiders.
Oh, okay.
He was on like NFL Matchup, or he was on ESPN like back in the day too, like doing NFL Live and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you would know who he is if you saw him or heard him, probably.
Okay. Did you see the video with Jared Allen?
Yeah, where he's like, "Yeah, about time."
Apparently, they don't have the big ogre doing it anymore. He retired.
I think he die?
I don't think he died. He just retired.
Okay.
But it was like the ogre's probably mean, but like he was a very big man. Guy. Yeah, and he's like, hey, and then welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
and then he'd like eat a football, and
when your whole house shakes because he's knocking on the door, you're going to the Hall of Fame.
the foundation's just rattling. He doesn't even knock. He just bursts down the door like the Big Bird meme.
Kool-Aid Man.
But I did not realize that was Steve Hutchinson.
I didn't either until somebody was talking about it. And I was like, who is this guy? He's like, is he like an old Steelers offensive lineman or something?
Yeah. And I mean, now they have like a player tell them. So like Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp, his brother, he invited him over to his house and he's like, it was awesome because he's just sitting there and he's like, home to the hall, welcome.
He's like
to your house? And he's like, Hall of Fame. And he's like, nah. And it's actually very cool video if you haven't checked it out. But Jared Allen was hilarious because, like you said, Steve Hutchinson knocks on the door and he's like, oh, hey, man. Yeah, cool. About time. You want a beer?
And Randall McDaniel did Eric Allen's knock or whatever.
Oh.
So I don't know.
I didn't see
that. I don't know how they.
As you can tell, I didn't realize Eric Allen was going in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I've never. Maybe I don't know enough about him to view him as a Hall of Famer, but maybe he is. Apparently he is.
But, he is. It's not up
to
you.
Sterling Sharp's always been like someone like in like the Terrell Davis kind of like Kurt Warner, where like they weren't around for a while, but they certainly did a lot while they were in the NFL for that short period of time. Which, if that's the case, then put Priest Holmes in there. All right, that dude scored like 90 touchdowns in like 3 seasons.
That was a bonkers run. Like the Chiefs had Priest Holmes and then Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
Like the whole offense is like hand it off twice and then throw on 3rd and 10 or whatever.
I think that's when they had Dante Hall too.
Yeah. When the Chiefs were cool.
But they also had like, I don't even know who had quarterback. Just terrible. Like
Elvis
Tyler
Thigpen. Matt Castle.
Yeah, Matt Castle. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that one. Jared Allen, though, spent 6 years with the Minnesota Vikings, of course, came in a trade from the Kansas City Chiefs, another former Chief, Jared Allen. They could have had Derrick Henry in that draft, though. Not Derrick Henry, Derrick Harvey in that draft. People are like, who the hell is that? Well, you just saw why.
Exactly.
Allen was 16th in sacks all time, according to Pro Football Reference's unofficial count. He is 13th all time officially since 1982 when sacks became a statistic, behind Viking legend and fellow Hall of Famer John Randall. He is also a member of the 2009 team that went to the NFC Championship game, and the all-time leader with 4 career safeties. So there you go. Now, the more you know.
You know who one of them was?
Oh, Dan Orlovsky.
Mm-hmm.
As he was like eating an ice cream bar.
Does he get credited with that? Oh, yeah, I saw that. And I saw him today eating, trying New Orleans food, and he's just like,
It's a bit. Like, he's got to be doing this on purpose.
He's been doing it for a while.
I know.
For years.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. I watch it, and to each their own, but I don't know how you can live life like that.
He ate jambalaya, and he was like, oh, no. I'm like, jambalaya?
Jambalaya is delicious. Yeah. If I lived in New Orleans, I'd be fatter, but I mean, I'm 250 right now. I'm working on it, guys. I promise. But long overdue. Yep. I think so. He was one of the best pass rushers of his era. He made a push for Michael Strahan's sack record at one point. I can't, what was it, 2013 or 2011? I mean, he was basically playing hero ball at the Metrodome.
I think it was 11 because that's when Pearson got hurt, right?
Sounds about right. I'll look that up here once you start talking. 11. But I don't know, man. The most charismatic Viking of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah,
maybe behind John Randall and Randy Moss is in that.
Yeah, definitely on defense behind John Randall. I guess you could put Fred Smoot in there, but he was only there for a couple years. No, Jared Allen was fun because it was all. I feel like all of his stuff was football related. It wasn't like you see with the Jason Kelsey's and all those guys doing all the off the field stuff. Now it's no, everything Jared Allen did was on the football field, just enjoying football, loving football, and he's one of the last feel true every down defensive ends that would just put his hand in the dirt, rush the passer. You don't really see a lot of those these days. I feel like a lot of guys get rotated out, or there's 3-4, or you're playing Brian Flores defense where you're blitzing from the safety position if you're a defensive end or something crazy. But no, it was always just fun to watch. I think my favorite sack of his was on the dreaded Monday night game against the Giants when Josh Freeman had that terrible performance. But Jared Allen also sacked Eli Manning with his own lineman by backing up into him and just grabbing around the lineman and just not letting go of Eli Manning. So that was always good. Enjoyed the mullet. Enjoyed his appearance in Jackass, the movie, when he just destroyed Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, and his mullet, his bronze bust in Canton, it has to have a mullet.
It absolutely has to. There's no negotiation. If they just go without it, it's not Jared Allen.
But the lines on the side too, and the
racing stripes,
Fu Manchu too as well.
Yes, Jared Allen on the field. I think it was a Thursday night game against the Bucks, and he fought Donald Penn.
Yep.
That was a great. Yes, that was a great a great Jared Allen moment. Also, the old main event videos that Kenny Mayne used to do. He was a regular star in those, and I remember one of them was about off-season plans and what players do in the off-season, and he. If you look it up, he's sitting there and he's one of the things is he's I'm going to throw a rock across America. And he's I pick it up, I throw the rock, I walk up, I pick it up again. And they're then they come up to me and be what you doing, man? He's I'm rocking America. And I drop some knowledge on foreign countries. And then he was talking about his workouts, and he had a little person with him. And he's in the desert just screaming, and he's Russian ab training commands. And the little person just starts punching him in his abs and is oh, I love it.
See, we don't get that stuff on ESPN anymore. Now we don't. Stephen A arguing with everybody.
Slava Lakers got the trade. They got Luka. They great script.
I'm the same as Patrick Mahomes. Just we're the same people. I understand why people are so mad at him. Yeah, Jared Allen he was a cool dude. Where do you think maybe he ranks among all Vikings pass rushers? I'm trying to think. I would still probably put Alan Page and Carl Eller at the top.
Oh yeah.
Would you put him?
Alan Page is one because he was
defensive tackle.
Like
won
even
MVP.
What's that?
He won MVP.
Yeah, he won MVP as a defensive tackle. That will never happen again. Like they just gave it to Josh Allen, and he only threw for like 3,000 yards.
Yeah, Aaron Donald probably had the best chance, but
yeah,
that's not gonna happen. Would you put John Randall ahead of? I'd probably put John Randall ahead, so maybe fourth, Jared Allen.
Yeah. I would put Jared Allen fourth.
Then you'd have like what, Everson and Danielle
and
Brian
Robinson.
No, I'm not putting him ahead of Jared Allen now.
No, not ahead of Jared Allen. I'm just Ray Edwards.
Yeah. Was there anybody in the 80s? Well, I guess was it Henry Thomas and
Keith Millard.
Yeah, but he got hurt. But
he had a monster. Monster. What 1987 season?
Yep.
It was that guy was a beast. Not that I would remember because I was 1 year old, but from what I heard.
and then who gets in the Hall of Fame next for the Vikings? Is it does Harrison Smith get in the Hall of Fame before Kevin Williams? If Kevin Williams ever gets in, because I think he should be in, but he just keeps getting. He doesn't even make it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a 6-time All-Pro.
Yeah, no, I was thinking I don't know. I was gonna suggest Bryant McKinney, but he was too up and down. He was just in the league for a long time. I was just trying to think of like names that stand out that aren't in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Ed Ingram.
Oh wait, never mind. Adrian
Chris
Peterson.
Boyd,
Adrian
special
Peterson.
teams wing.
Sorry, Adrian Peterson.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Is that really going to be the next guy, you think?
I think
he's got to retire first.
Yeah. I think it goes from like the time you were last in the NFL, which is 2021 at this point.
Okay.
So he might be eligible 2027.
Yeah.
I think. But Harrison Smith won't be eligible for another 5 years after he retires. So even if he plays again, he won't be eligible until like 2030 or 31.
Correct.
Huh. So yeah, probably Peterson.
Yeah, that's probably it. Peterson and Kevin Williams, and so Kevin Williams could get in, but was Williams a finalist this year?
No. Yes, I don't think he's ever been a finalist.
Jeez, that is.
It's just crazy. If his name wasn't Kevin Williams, if it was like something fun, I feel like I don't know, like
Chaos Femi,
like the Chaos Spikes has like the best football name ever, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
I was writing an article today, and the Boston Red Sox, I guess, have a prospect named Blaze Jordan.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, but he's a first baseman. Like if he was a center fielder,
yeah.
Or a pitcher.
Second baseman, yeah.
Yeah, Blade, like a really fast, like Willie Mays Hayes, just really fast guy, hit like 100, but like still 100 bases somehow.
Yeah, you can't be a first baseman and be Blaze.
No. First baseman, you got like Daniel Vogelbach.
Like Mo Vaughn is a perfect first baseman name.
Mo Vaughn. Yes. Troy Glaus.
Yeah.
We're going down the rabbit hole here.
So Adrian Peterson probably is next.
What?
Peterson.
Oh, random first base. Baseball is like the best sport ever, just to name like random name. Justin Smoke. Soon you can pick baseball on Underdog because it is the best place. It's actually the best app for your big game party, and it's on your phone. It's called Underdog. Underdog is the best place to cash in on all of your takes during the big game. Which players are going to go off? Which ones are ice cold? Make your entries in just a few taps. With their pickup game, you can win up to 1,000 times your money by just choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats like yards, touchdowns, and interceptions. They've got all of your favorite teams, leagues, and stars to choose from. And Underdog is the only pick'em platform that puts power to cash out in your hands. They also have rescues, which means if a player gets hurt early in a game, you can get your money back. And you receive a promo if your early injury causes you to lose. Adam and I have been using Underdog for a few years, and I'm getting ready for the big game. My Underdog right now is a $10 free roll, so you can use that on your picks during the big game. I like Kareem Hunt to score a touchdown on Sunday. Maybe you're romantic and you think Travis Kelce's going to score the game-winning touchdown and propose to Taylor Swift. Go for that if you want to. You can pick higher on that. Anthony Edwards, if you're a basketball fan, go higher on his points right now, or even Wild play that last game before the Four Nations tournament on Saturday. You can go higher. Maybe you think Matt Boldy's going to score a goal as a warm-up. You can do it on Underdog, and it's why it is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with the code THEAGE, all one word, and deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code THEAGE, all one word. You get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. You must be 18 years or older, 19 years or older in Alabama or Nebraska, 19 years or older in Colorado for some games, 21 years or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado for some games. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Or in Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Okay, got that out of the way. Let's go around the league. Couple of different things going on right now. I didn't do any of the little caption things, so I'll work on that as we're talking. Maybe the Vikings will make a trade here in the coming weeks because Cooper Kupp and Myles Garrett are apparently on the market right now. Let's just start here. Should the Vikings go after either of them, Adam?
I mean, I've seen a lot of people say the Vikings don't need Myles Garrett, but he's like one of the best pass rushers of this era. So if the Vikings felt they need to go get him and they had to let someone go like Andrew Van Ginkel, I think that'd be okay. If they replaced Van Ginkel with Myles Garrett, I think that would be okay. But I don't think they're going to go after him. I think the whole Garrett thing is him wanting an extension, and or maybe he does want out of Cleveland, because who doesn't when you play for the Browns? But I think Cooper Kupp probably has the more realistic chance of landing with the Vikings, whether it be a trade or a release. And I know I've seen some people say, like, if you trade for him, he has like a $29 million cap hit. No, that's if the Rams keep him. Like, the team who trades him doesn't have that cap hit. I think the team who trades for him, the cap hit's more around 18 or 20 million, and that can be reduced to probably around 12 million if the Rams are willing to take on his roster bonus or whatever this year.
And it sounds like they are. So
12 million to trade for Cooper Kupp, but then you're the Vikings and you don't really have a lot of draft assets to really give up unless it's 2026. So you probably wait for him to be released and then see where he goes, because I would think if he's released, there's a good chance the Vikings get him anyways because of his connection to Kevin O'Connell. But then you also got to see where, I don't know, Matthew Stafford goes, if he's going to stay with the Rams.
Yeah, his wife is going full Caitlin Thielen right now.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not the first time she's done that, though.
No.
But I'm not about to get in a discussion.
No. I'm backing away as soon as possible right now. But let's talk about Cooper Kupp and Myles Garrett. Officially on the market. I mean, Garrett sounds like he's got to be a post 6-1 trade because of the cap penalty the Browns would take on that. So it's not 2025 capital that you would be trading. It's 2026, 2027 draft picks in play. It would be the full Rams move that Kwesi has sworn not to do.
It's also weird that he put a statement out that he wants to trade. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
This whole week has been bizarre from him. Like, he was just
where he's like saying what teams he wanted to be on and stuff.
Well, he was just like Rich Eisen's like, so what if they don't trade you? And he's like, haven't thought about that.
Yeah, like what like if you're in the Browns locker room when he comes back, like what, like how do you? I guess it's different from a player's perspective because you understand like it's a business and stuff. But some guys are probably like, oh, cool, can't believe I'm so happy you're back, even though you don't want to be here.
Yeah. And I mean, too, a lot of the players in that locker room know how bad it is. Maybe they feel like there weren't enough changes made. I don't know. Cleveland is.
I mean,
Cleveland's in bad shape right now.
I'm pretty sure Myles Garrett was one of the ones, standing up for Deshaun Watson, advocating for him to be there. So, do I feel bad for him? Probably not.
He was crapping on the fans. Well,
a lot of people were.
They weren't. That's a delicate situation.
Slippery
I'm just
slope.
Another back. It's back away from the topic. Back away from the topic, Chris.
We're gonna end up talking about Justin Tucker on here or something.
Yes. Cooper Kupp, though. He hasn't had 1,000-yard season since 2021. And I did have the $29 million cap hit. You are right. The Rams could take on some of that salary, and then it's lesser if he gets traded to another team. Things are getting ugly in LA right now. And it was part of the reason why, when the Vikings played the Rams, I was like, this team can get beat. But then the offensive line went belly up and a lot of other things happened. But it was just the end of the year, all Matthew Stafford wanted to do was throw to Puka Nacua. And then, whenever they ran the ball, it was Kyren Williams right up the middle. That was their offense. And I don't know, we saw Jared Goff, things got ugly there before Sean McVay traded him for Matthew Stafford. It's the same thing's happening again. It feels a lot like Adam Thielen's departure from Minnesota, where, he debuted at the same age, had a very good peak. It probably could have been longer for Kupp if he didn't tear his ACL one year. I think that was his second year in the league. But I mean, he hasn't been the same player since he had that Triple Crown season in 2021.
Since someone was his offensive coordinator.
Yes. That being said, and you hit the nail on the head, if Kupp gets released or the price is I don't know, will the Rams take a 2026 pick? Will they, what's the price?
A fourth next year?
Yeah.
Would you do that? Yeah, I think.
Sure. I mean, here's the thing. So Kupp knows the offense. There's apparently a lot of fans in the building. I think Kevin Seifert or Darren Wolfson tweeted that.
I mean, he's the first person Justin Jefferson asked Kevin O'Connell about when he became the head coach. He was like, how does he get so open?
And I mean, Jordan Addison, nobody's talking about this, but he's probably going to get suspended for a couple games next year. So if you can replace that with Cooper Kupp, even if it's for a couple, if Cooper Kupp comes here and he starts a couple of games and it's not much, you can just say, okay, didn't work.
Yeah. He's a good blocker too.
Yeah.
In the run game.
I'm not trading a second round pick for him, but if you want a fourth or something, or, somewhere in that neighborhood, I'm doing it because his valuation right now is $6.5 million according to Over the Cap. That's totally fair. I would, open market, day 3 pick, I would make that deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think his value too goes beyond more than just his on-field skills because of his experience in O'Connell's offense. Being able to kind of teach maybe Justin Jefferson, it sounds weird to say, but teach Justin Jefferson some new things. And then, Addison, some other receivers as well, even maybe Hawkinson, just some little things in the offense, how to run your routes better, or where to take your breaks or whatever. So I think he's someone that the Vikings are very interested in pursuing, but also at the same time knowing they need to focus on fixing the offensive line first, finding some corners and adding some more help to the defensive line before they worry about a third wide receiver.
Do you think teams are going to bring a teleprompter onto the field to stop Justin Jefferson now?
Did you see that joke too everywhere? The only thing that can stop Justin Jefferson is a broken teleprompter.
Coming up next on a certain website that writes about everything. I think our next topic. What's that?
I think that was on our site actually, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty funny because he's just funny. He's just the prompters out.
I didn't even realize. I thought these guys just memorized their
my
cards
hands
or whatever. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, New Orleans.
That would go great with Justin Jefferson saying that. considering that's where he's from.
Well, Kirk Cousins probably ain't saying go F yourself, but he's definitely saying go frick yourself.
Yep.
Because that's getting interesting and I love it. Kirk Cousins took part in the P&G Battle of the Paddles on Wednesday night, which of course he did.
Yep.
Like that is a Kirk Cousins moment if you
Good
ever
PR
seen one.
right there.
To promote it, he was on Good Morning Football and revealed that he had shoulder and elbow injuries that hampered him in the second half of last season.
Great.
Then the following day during the event, he lost to Drake May in the finals, by the way.
Of course he did. You can't he's not going to win the playoffs.
He was like, golly, frick. Oh, gee. Oh, did he line up at the wrong table, you think? They just had another table to the side and he's like, all right, Drake, you ready? He's like, Kirk,
did he hit the ball short? That's what he's known for.
Just play it safe here. Don't get too risky, Kirk. Yeah. So the other thing that he did is he started in a Falcon shirt, and then he put a black shirt over the top of the Falcon shirt. Falcon fans are done with this already.
Yep.
And all I have to say about this is we tried to warn you.
Yeah.
We tried to warn you that because last year it was, we got our franchise quarterback and we're going to put all the chains on Kirk and Kirk wants to retire Falcon. And we totally found him. And now it's like, you money sucking son of a bitch. Like he is like, Kirk is great. Like he's going to put up stats. He's going to be the nicest guy ever until you mess with his money. Then he turns into a leader of the cartel. It's like that Dave Chappelle skit with Wayne Brady where like he hangs out with him and he's like, oh yeah, Wayne Brady's super nice. And then he pulls up to somebody and like shoots them and like they're doing crack on the sidewalk or whatever. I don't think that's what Kirk Cousins is doing.
No.
But I mean, it's just like, you want to mess with my money, huh? Say hello,
Yeah, I think Kirk is like that, that ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend who, someone else goes with them and you try and warn them and you're like, I don't think you want to do that. Like this, they're going to ruin your life. And they're like, no, it's fine. They've changed. They're different. Just because you have, bad feelings, you have a bad taste in your mouth doesn't mean you got to, put the negative energy on me. And it's like, okay, all right, whatever. And then like a few months later, like, you were right. You were so right. I am sorry. That person is out of their mind. They're only in it for the money. So yeah, like Kirk Cousins is on full like, I'm not even going to get traded by the Falcons. I'm not even going to help you get anything with any sort of trade value from me this offseason. You're going to release me so I can go wherever I want, so I can sign whatever contract I want, and that's how it's going to be. And Falcons are like, shit, he's probably going to get his way because he does, because he always does, except for Kwesi last year, who was like, see you later.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins is the head of the negotiation.
Kwesi had to like hold Kevin O'Connell. He had to like delete Cousins' phone number out of KOC's phone, so they stopped calling him and just go over to his house and console him. Up. Yeah.
Julie's like, who is that, Kirk? It's your day off. It's Tuesday. Remember what we said? Remember, Kirk?
Yeah. But, at least, you know what? To be fair, the Falcons drafting Michael Penix is working out for them, because if they didn't do that, they would be screwed right now.
I think they knew.
They had to.
I mean, they were like, oh, shit, this isn't good.
They probably signed him and without, like, I don't know, the proper medical checks, which, some teams are just like, whatever. He'll be, twins doctors will do just because they want to have, that big name player and think he can do a lot. And then they get him in the building and they're like, yeah, okay, now I understand why we were the only team bidding for him last year. And so, good for Kirk. He's going to get a lot of money. He's still going to get, I think he has like 60 guaranteed left on his contract. So he's going to get that and probably be free to sign wherever he goes. Looks like the Browns are the favorite. Reunite with Kevin Stefanski over there. And he'll have a resurgent season, probably comeback player of the year or something, and then get another lucrative contract and screw over whoever team he signs with next. So it's just a never-ending cycle.
It's fun to watch from afar.
It is.
Like, it's just kind of like, it's the meme where like,
And you know where he's not coming back.
Or the two chicks are like beating each other up, and somebody's like laying down like this with the phone recording it.
Yes. Let's clear this up real quick though. You know where he's not coming back. He's not coming back to the Vikings.
No.
Okay, so we can just throw that. I've already seen people. Oh, bring him back as a back. No.
That would just end poorly.
No. Like, there's a reason why the Vikings won 14 games last year in the first year since not having Kirk Cousins, and it had more to do than just Kirk Cousins play on the field. I can guarantee that.
There was no Creed in the locker room.
I don't know. The offensive lineman's still like that.
Yeah, but hopefully he'll be gone too.
And then
soon.
It wasn't. Didn't Dobbs like embrace the Creed thing too?
He did.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're on the team, when in Rome, right?
Right.
You got to make new friends somehow.
Especially
Sometimes you do things you're not proud of.
Dobbs makes a lot of new friends because he's been on like 9 teams so far.
He's they have Hobo Day here in Brookings for SDSU. It's like Josh Dobbs's holiday.
He's still in the Niners, though, I think. Or is he free agent? I don't know.
He might be a free agent again.
Who knows?
Who knows? He's somewhere. Anyway, talked about the big game earlier and how we can call it for what it is. It is the Super Bowl LIX, Chiefs, Eagles. Who you got?
Halftime show.
Halftime show?
That's right.
You know what's funny? I came on this podcast and I said all of Kendrick Lamar's songs sound the same. And then he went and won 10 Grammys for his album.
Won a Grammy for the diss track he made.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't have in mind when he was making that. He's like, I'm going to win a Grammy making this.
It's like, oh, that did better than I expected.
No, I think the game will actually be pretty good. The last Super Bowl they played in 2 years ago was a good game. There was just a pass interference call at the end of the game to help the Chiefs, but it was pass interference. But
yes,
just convenient.
I do.
I'm just not going to bet against Pat Mahomes at this point.
No.
Like there's no reason to at this point until he proves everyone otherwise.
Wrestling comparison here.
Roman Reigns.
Yes.
This is
bloodline.
This is Roman.
They even
Reigns.
wear red.
This is WrestleMania. What 30, 40?
Yeah, this
with Cody
could be WrestleMania. Although, I don't know, everybody.
Or is this more Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn? No,
this is Roman.
People like Sami Zayn. People like the Eagles.
It's like Roman Reigns against heel Drew McIntyre.
All right. Clash of the Castle.
Yes, but Drew was heavily favored in that.
He was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I don't really care who wins. I'm not really. People know what I think about Travis Kelce. I'm not the biggest Travis Kelce fan.
I think he'll retire if they win.
I don't know.
Although he says he wants to play what, but why?
3-4 more years.
You want to get your brain smashed for 3 more years instead of just going to hang out with your girlfriend and going and doing your podcast every day?
Are we sure it's not smash to mush already?
Right.
I guess his podcast is very good. Yes. And he can act and he's a producer. Yes.
Yeah,
all that
stuff. He doesn't need to do.
He's
like a game show host too. Or...
Yeah. I don't have a lot of ill will toward the Chiefs or their fans.
It's just they're constantly in the limelight, and you're hearing this Andy Reid State Farm Fumblerooski or Bundlerooski commercial every other.
And then you have
between that and the Burger King one.
Then you have the weird stuff like Harrison Butker, women should only cook and clean, and then you have Rashee Rice, drag racing.
Yeah, there's a lot.
The Eagles have a player who also got in trouble drag racing, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, wait, shouldn't we be rooting for Lewis Cine on the Eagles and Nick Muse? Lewis Cine could have a ring. Quasey's gonna be like, now what? You got a Super Bowl ring.
Yes.
3rd year.
I drafted a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. See?
You know where I here's my problem. And this might be why I kind of want the Eagles to win. Swifties. I have Like, and it's not a matter of, no, they shouldn't be watching it. Like, I think it's awesome they're watching football. There are kids who like Taylor Swift and then they find out who her boyfriend is and they watch football. Like, that's cool. That's their introduction to the game. Then there is this like stable of like mid-20s, early 30s Taylor Swift fans who have never watched football in their life, and then they flip it on and they're just like, oh my God, Travis and Taylor, and it's so much fun. Football is great. We watch the game, and then Travis' team wins, and then he says hi to Taylor, and they get all the calls, and like, no, that's not how this works. Like, this is pain. Sports are supposed to be painful. They're supposed to eat you alive. They're supposed to keep you up at night. Like Taylor's previous relationships. Like, that's the whole point. That's why being a Vikings fan, that's why I haven't quit being a Vikings fan, because eventually they're going to fit. People ask me all the time, why do you like wrestling? And like some people, Taylor Swift is their wrestling card.
We had to tie wrestling.
What's that?
I said we had to tie. Well, we already did kind of tie wrestling into this.
Yes, but I mean, here's the thing. Like, that's like their wrestling card, but at the same time, like my two favorite storylines of all time: Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30, Cody Rhodes finishing the story at WrestleMania 40, because there was adversity. It didn't look like they were going to win it. Then they pulled it out of their ass and they won it at the end. And the payoff was so, like, when the Vikings finally get into this game, and they, like, God forbid they actually win it when they get into this game. But like, if they were to do that, that would be finish the story times a billion for me. And these like Swifties, they just hopped on board and their team won a Super Bowl right away. I'm 38 years old. I have never seen my team in this game.
They've been in the Super Bowl, what, 4 of the last 5 years?
Yes. And in both years since they've been dating. So like, it's honestly nothing against them. It's just, they're on the gravy. They hopped on the fast train, and it pisses me off.
Well, I probably should have been a Broncos fan, because my dad was a Broncos fan when I was growing up. But they lost. I think they lost 4 Super Bowls when I was growing up with Elway, or at least 3. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna root for the Vikings. And then 98 happened. I'm like, oh, this will happen every year. And then it didn't. And the Broncos won 2 Super Bowls, and they won another one in 2013, and the Vikings haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1976. So it's great.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I liked the 49ers a lot. Jerry Rice, Steve Young, they Terrell Owens,
Ricky Waters.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, that whole crew. And then Randy Moss happened, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then my sad existence just kind of took over from there. But I mean, yeah. No. So
I think I think if the Chiefs win, though, I'm curious when Andy Reid actually retires, because I'm just getting more and more curious about what Patrick Mahomes will be like after Andy Reid leaves, because I think it's going to be way different than what we're seeing right now. I think Patrick Mahomes helped Andy Reid get over the hump, like the Super Bowls and stuff, but I think Andy Reid has a lot to do with Patrick Mahomes being as good as he is too. There's things that Patrick Mahomes does really well on his own, scrambling and stuff, and exploring the rules.
Yeah,
exploring the rules. They are in the rule book. He can do it until it's against the rules.
But it's Ric Flair.
It is, But I'm just like, because we saw what Brady without Belichick, and Brady did awesome. Won a Super Bowl, but Belichick without Brady looked like dog shit. So, but resulted in him getting a girlfriend who's 48 years younger than him. So good for him.
Snoop Dogg went there.
That's 10 years ago, Bill Belichick was 62 and his girlfriend was 14. That's weird.
Why do I have Kendrick Lamar playing in my head?
Yeah, that's like, everyone's like, wow, good for Bill. It's like, no. Weird. He has sons that are older than his girlfriend.
Anyway, what's going on at the Viking age, man?
We didn't even talk about the Rumble.
Oh, you want to talk about the Rumble?
Well, just like, were you? I know you weren't up in arms because of Yeet Mania,
Oh, I loved it.
But everyone else was like, "Oh, he can't even wrestle." And it's like, it's not about. It's like, this isn't AEW. It's not about that. Okay, like,
have your mom feed you your meatloaf and
clear
shut
draw.
up.
And guess what? He still might lose because they just did that 2 years ago when they had Cody lose.
I enjoy Jey Uso on my TV.
Yeah,
like I have fun when Jey
like
Uso's
an 80s
out
wrestler.
there.
Like,
yeah, I think it was Fuego del Sol said this, and he got advice from Hockey Tonk Man earlier in his career. He's like, well, do you want to do a bunch of flips and break your neck, or do you want to drink beer and make $1 million?
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as that. And you know what? I mean, people just, I've started muting people because it's just gotten so annoying. It's like, my fantasy booking from November isn't going to come true. It's like, dude,
you're still going to watch it.
There's 10 weeks to go. They could book whatever, whatever. Just enjoy it. Just have fun. Like, it was awesome. The whole time between Cena and Uso, I'm like sitting there and I'm just like, okay, Cena's going to win. And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if Jey won? Yeah. That would be crazy. And then he did. And I cheered. And like the 70,000 people in attendance also cheered and went nuts. So I think they're doing something right.
Yeah, I think I think their company is at the highest value that it's ever been in its existence. So they must be doing something right, especially when at the same time there's a giant lawsuit going on with the person who used to own the company, and they're still printing money pretty much. And then on the women's side, like Charlotte Flair, whatever, who cares? She won. Everyone wants to see her go against Tiffany Stratton. Like, that'll be fine. And then who knows what they're doing with Rhea Ripley. Hopefully it's not Liv Morgan again.
I don't know. People booing Charlotte is kind of weird too. They're like,
especially when she was like, I worked out the whole year to come back. I didn't know if I was coming back, and everyone's like, fuck you.
She's like, it sucked, boo.
But that's that's okay. Natural. That's because she's a natural heel.
Exactly.
She can't be all simple. But like, I was surprised we didn't see Jade come back. I was surprised that she wasn't in there. So she must be like legit hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, that one's a little bit weird. Also, no Becky.
Right. But
no
she's
Rock,
supposed to be back
which
soon.
that was
fine.
kind of
I'm fine with that.
I do want to see Rock and Roman at some point, but I don't know when it.
When they need money.
Here's the other thing too. It's like
they don't.
There are other shows than WrestleMania, like bigger shows now. Like they have to.
I think I like
for those shows.
Royal Rumble more than WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think I realized that when I was watching. I'm like, I think I like this. Like, I like WrestleMania, but like, there's so much like unknown about the Royal Rumble, just with who's going to be in it and stuff, that I think that's what makes it better.
Can I shout out ISO Speed though?
Oh, Jesus Christ! Got destroyed by a former Raven.
My former Kennesaw State Owl. Who gives a hoot? Braun Breaker did. So for those of you who don't speak wrestling, and we got one person, it's probably my mom watching right now, but Braun Breaker is a big dude. If you go look up Bronson Reichsteiner, is that his real name?
I think so.
Go look up his college highlights for Kennesaw State, and it is the greatest thing ever.
He runs like a 4.3.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Anyway, he hit the ropes and speared a YouTuber in half, and then gorilla press slammed him out of the ring. Caught by Otis, who gave him a fall away slam.
I gotta imagine he broke his ribs.
Yeah. They show Triple H in the back too, and he's like,
I saw that.
"Is he okay?
He's alive.
He's alive. Okay, well, he's alive." And like Stephanie McMahon just comes into the picture at the end, just laughing.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. He is alive. There's no lawsuit there.
Well, he got an RKO last year, right?
In WrestleMania, yes.
Yeah.
Because he was in the prime bottle. All right, what's going on in the Viking age?
Let's see. The Super Bowl is ending, so then next is what? Well, actually, franchise tag's coming up on February 18th, so we'll be getting ready for that. I'm sure there'll be plenty of insider reports to come out next week, with plenty of details out of the Super Bowl about Sam Darnold and what could happen. Right now, I think it's gone from, I think Tom Pelissero switched his stance pretty quickly, where he was like, "Oh, the best situation would be for Sam Darnold to go back, and then like a day later, he was like, "Everything's on the table for the Vikings." And it's like, wow, okay, that was quick. You obviously talked to somebody. So yeah, there's that, and I think we'll do some more draft stuff and do some more free agent preview stuff. But yeah, everything's going on with the Vikings. Go check out the VikingAge.com and follow me, Adam Patrick NFL, on Threads, Blue Sky, and Instagram.
And of course, you can follow me at The Real Chris Schad. My name is Chris Schad. He is Adam Patrick. We are the Viking Age podcast. We do this about once a week for sure. We'll let you know once we finalize everything. But we're also in podcast form the very next day on Apple and Spotify. However you consume us, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. For Adam Patrick, I am Chris Schad. This is the Viking Age podcast.